I want to share something with you that might challenge everything you've been told about why your vitality seems to be slipping away after turning 60. The exhaustion you feel, the restless nights, the diminished physical responses. What if none of this is simply an inevitable consequence of getting older? What if the solution isn't hidden in expensive medications or complicated medical procedures, but rather in something so ordinary you've probably walked past it countless times in your grocery store without a second thought? Imagine a humble spice that, when used correctly at night, could trigger a warming surge of blood circulation throughout your body within moments, awakening capabilities you believed had disappeared forever. My name is Dr. Rena Malik, and over 3 decades as a urologist, I've dedicated my career to helping men like you rediscover their strength and self-assurance. I've consulted with thousands of men who were convinced their prime years had passed them by. Through this extensive experience, I've witnessed firsthand that when you apply the right approach, decline is far from inevitable. I'm here to share both scientific evidence and genuine understanding because I truly comprehend what you're experiencing right now. There's a widespread misconception that diminishing performance is simply what happens as you accumulate birthdays. This belief is fundamentally incorrect. Physical vitality doesn't just evaporate because you've reached a certain age. It weakens because your circulation gradually slows down while stress hormones steadily climb. The encouraging reality is that these physiological changes can be reversed when you understand how to activate the correct mechanisms within your system. This is precisely where this particular spice becomes transformative. In the time we spend together, I'm going to demonstrate how one straightforward 60-second practice performed at the optimal time each day can enhance your circulation, reduce your stress response, and naturally revitalize your testosterone production. This isn't speculation or unproven theory. It's a validated, natural approach that has already transformed the lives of men in their 60s, 70s, and even beyond. I'm going to walk you through this process methodically, step by step. Before we continue, I encourage you to subscribe and activate notifications so you won't miss future guidance items created specifically for men over 60. I'd also appreciate hearing from you in the comments section. If you're prepared to experiment with this spice approach yourself, let me know. If you're still skeptical or uncertain, share that too so I can better understand how to serve you in upcoming content. Now that you grasp the potential of this simple spice, let's begin with a fundamental truth every man past 60 needs to understand. Physical performance doesn't simply vanish with age. It deteriorates because the tiniest blood vessels throughout your body gradually constrict, progressively restricting the circulation that your manhood relies upon. I want you to understand something crucial from the very beginning. When physical performance begins declining after 60, it's not merely because you're aging. Far too many men accept age as an explanation, as if reaching 60 automatically deactivates their body's capabilities. This is absolutely false. What actually occurs is much more specific, and the encouraging news is that it's reversible. The blood vessels that supply your intimate areas are among the smallest in your entire cardiovascular system. Picture a single strand of hair, that's roughly their diameter. Throughout decades of living, every moment of psychological stress, every night of inadequate sleep, every bit of inflammation quietly constricts these vessels. This process happens slowly, almost imperceptibly. Then one morning, you realize your spontaneous morning responses aren't as robust as they once were. Gradually, intimate encounters become less dependable, and self-confidence begins eroding. I've consulted with countless men in my practice who spoke almost apologetically, as if ashamed, about feeling diminished because of these changes. My consistent message to them is this: you're not damaged. Your body retains complete memory of its functions. Those vessels can dilate again. Blood can flow freely again. The vigor you once possessed isn't gone. It's simply waiting for the appropriate signal to return. But circulation represents only one aspect of this puzzle. There's another concealed force operating in your body after 60 that silently undermines the energy and intimacy you deserve, and understanding this is essential to your recovery. Once you comprehend how compromised circulation quietly drains your strength, we need to discuss something even more influential working against your hormonal balance. Throughout my years of practice, I've encountered numerous men who arrived at my office confused because their cardiovascular numbers looked acceptable. Their heart function seemed adequate, yet they felt perpetually drained, emotionally disconnected, and inexplicably unmotivated. The reality is that the invisible culprit behind these symptoms is cortisol, commonly known as the stress hormone. When your body experiences stress, whether from financial anxieties, family obligations, chronic sleep deprivation, or even hidden inflammation in your gums, cortisol levels elevate. Here's the harsh reality: cortisol and testosterone exist in an antagonistic relationship. When cortisol rises, testosterone plummets. Testosterone isn't merely about intimate function. It fuels your energy levels, your emotional state, your self-confidence, even the way you present yourself when entering a room. Without adequate testosterone, life loses its vibrancy. Many men have described this to me as experiencing existence in grayscale after decades of seeing the world in full color. I recall one patient, 72 years old, who told me with profound sadness that he no longer recognized himself, that he felt like a shadow of his former self. His laboratory results revealed dramatically elevated cortisol alongside severely depleted testosterone. When we successfully reduced his stress levels, his testosterone rebounded, and with it returned his smile, his motivation, and yes, his intimate capabilities. So this isn't solely about directing blood where it needs to go. It's about calming your entire system, lowering stress hormones, and creating an internal environment where testosterone can flourish again. This brings us to something truly remarkable, a natural resource that's been overlooked for centuries, capable of simultaneously addressing both circulation and cortisol elevation. Let me share something that continues to astonish me even after decades of medical practice. For years, men have consulted me, desperately seeking solutions, convinced that only costly prescriptions or invasive procedures could restore what they'd lost. Yet sitting inconspicuously in nearly every kitchen spice collection is one of the most potent natural tools I've encountered in my entire career. As that spice is clove, you might associate it primarily with holiday baking or traditional folk remedies. But contained within this tiny dried flower bud is a hidden potency that directly addresses the challenges men face after 60. Clove contains a compound called eugenol. What makes eugenol extraordinary is its capacity to relax and dilate blood vessels, functioning essentially as nature's own circulation enhancer. When these vessels open, blood moves unobstructed again, not only to your heart and brain, but to the precise location that defines your masculine confidence. But clove's benefits extend beyond circulation. It also contains beta-caryophyllene, a natural compound that calms the nervous system, reduces cortisol, and establishes the optimal environment for testosterone to function effectively. In essence, this spice addresses both dimensions of the battle simultaneously. It liberates your blood flow while quieting the stress response that suppresses your hormones. I've witnessed men who believed their best years had permanently ended rediscover energy, intimacy, and fulfillment simply by incorporating this overlooked spice into their daily routine. It may sound almost impossibly simple, but sometimes the solutions that create the most dramatic changes are those hiding in plain sight. Once you recognize the power contained within clove, the only remaining question is how to utilize it properly, and that's precisely what we'll explore next. Now that you understand the power hidden within clove, the critical question becomes how to use it in a manner that allows your body to absorb and respond to it rapidly. Over the years, I've observed men experiment with powdered forms, essential oils, and various supplements. But the most effective method is also the simplest, requiring just 60 seconds. No equipment, no prescriptions, no medical appointments necessary. You begin with 2 or 3 whole cloves, the actual dried flower buds, not ground powder and not essential oil. Place them carefully between your teeth and bite down until you hear a slight crack. For the initial 30 seconds, resist the urge to chew. Allow the warm, potent oils to seep into your saliva and pass through the permeable tissues of your mouth directly into your bloodstream. Unlike a capsule that requires hours to work through your digestive system, this method produces almost immediate effects. After those first 30 seconds, Slowly chew the cloves for another 30 seconds. Experience the oils releasing fully, their distinctive sharp flavor confirming that something powerful is occurring. By this point, the active compounds have already begun dilating your blood vessels and calming your nervous system. You can either swallow the remains or discard them. It makes no difference. The therapeutic work is already underway. Men frequently tell me they're surprised by how such a minor, ordinary action could feel so significant, as if their body was reawakening. This ritual requires just 60 seconds, yet it can establish the foundation for deeper sleep, calmer evenings, and enhanced circulation. But timing is crucial, and when you choose to perform this ritual, can amplify its effectiveness even further. Like many aspects of health, timing can determine whether you experience ordinary results or remarkable ones. I've discovered that the moments you select to chew this spice are equally important as the ritual itself. The most powerful time is approximately 1 hour before bedtime. This is when your body naturally begins transitioning toward rest. Your blood pressure decreases and your nervous system shifts toward recovery mode. Chewing clove during this window prepares your body for the deep, restorative sleep during which testosterone is manufactured. Many of my patients have reported that after establishing this habit, they not only slept more soundly, but also awakened with a quality of strength and confidence they hadn't experienced in years. The second optimal window is immediately upon waking before consuming any food. Consider it jump-starting your engine for the day ahead. On an empty stomach, the active compounds in clove traverse your system rapidly, dispersing mental fog, sharpening concentration, and igniting circulation throughout your body. Some men also chew it before physical exercise or intimate encounters, finding it primes them to feel stronger, more present, and fully engaged in the moment. Selecting these specific times isn't merely about establishing routine. It's about synchronizing with your body's natural rhythms to extract maximum benefit. One of the most frequent questions I receive is how quickly results become noticeable. I always respond with this genuine transformation doesn't materialize overnight, but with consistency, your body will begin responding in ways that are both subtle and powerful. During the first 7 days, most men describe a gentle shift, a lightness in their chest, warmth spreading through their lower body, or simply deeper, less interrupted sleep. It's not dramatic, but it's the foundation being established quietly beneath the surface. By the second week, around day 14, the benefits begin accumulating momentum. Many men report waking more refreshed, experiencing clearer thinking, and maintaining steadier moods. Some even report something they hadn't experienced in years, a stronger morning response, or a spontaneous spark of desire that seemed permanently lost. This represents your circulation reviving, your hormones beginning to rebalance, and your body remembering how to perform as it once did. By day 30, the transformation becomes undeniable. Physical responses are firmer, more consistent, and confidence returns, not just in intimate moments, but throughout everyday life. Men tell me they carry themselves differently, smile more frequently, and feel genuinely present in their own skin again. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming vitality, about stepping back into the man you were always meant to be. Throughout my years of practice, I've learned that even the simplest rituals become more powerful when combined with complementary habits. One of the easiest ways to enhance the clove ritual is pairing it with a spoonful of pure honey. Honey contains boron, a mineral associated with testosterone support and blood sugar regulation. When you combine clove with honey, you're simultaneously nourishing your circulation and hormonal systems. Another simple yet powerful addition is movement. A 10-minute walk after your morning clove ritual acts like a pump, propelling freshly oxygenated blood through vessels that the eugenol has just helped dilate. Additionally, controlled breathing while chewing, inhaling for 4 seconds, holding for 2, exhaling slowly for 6, quiets the nervous system. This lowers cortisol and maximizes how your body absorbs the active compounds. These small additions require just minutes, but can dramatically amplify results. When men first consult me, they typically discuss physical struggles, fatigue, weakened responses, restless nights. But listening more carefully, I hear something deeper. What troubles them most isn't just the physical changes, but how those changes erode their identity. They feel less confident, less connected to their partners, and sometimes less like the man they once knew. This is why the club ritual matters profoundly. It's not only about circulation or hormones, it's about restoring a sense of control over your body and life. I've witnessed men who once walked with heads down begin carrying themselves taller. They laugh more, reach for their partner's hand, smile in ways their families haven't seen in years. Confidence affects every conversation, relationship, and choice you make. When your blood flows freely, stress eases, and you sleep deeply and wake energized, you begin truly living again. At this point, you've learned the truth about why strength fades, the hidden role of stress hormones, and the surprising power of this tiny spice. But knowledge alone won't change your life, action will. I encourage you to start tonight. Take 2 or 3 whole clubs, follow the simple 1-minute ritual, and give your body the signal it's been waiting for. This isn't about trying another gimmick. It's about reclaiming the energy, confidence, and intimacy that have always been part of who you are. One man told me with tears that after weeks of feeling his body respond again, he finally felt like himself for the first time in years. As we conclude, let me remind you of what we've discovered together. Physical responses don't fade merely because of age. They fade because of blood flow, stress, and hormones that you can address. A simple spice has the power to open your blood vessels, calm your mind, and restore your confidence. 1 minute, 1 choice, 1 habit at night. That's all it takes to start reclaiming your energy. Your strength is waiting. Now it's your turn.